Okay, so question 5. Where is the public opinion featuring censorship on social media? And this is a very interesting question because it has two sides to it, but it's also a personal one to me because I, ladies and gentlemen, was first-hand experiencing censorship. I myself was censored on YouTube for talking to somebody in the comments section about coronavirus. And I firsthand have seen YouTube censor people for talking about coronavirus. I pray that by the time I put these videos up and someone watches them, that all of them are still there. I doubt they will soon. I've seen YouTube censor many people over times for extreme narratives, so what they call conspiracy theories. Check the guidelines for all the other keywords you want to associate with it. Racy topics, not racial, racy topics. Yeah. Let's go from the top. So I'll go on to that first. And so I was having a chat with somebody. I believe there was an article in the Sun about one of the kids dying or something like that. It was very profound, and I just happened to glance it. It was either that or a death rate thing, and they wrapped it up with death rates. And then someone in the comments section had talked about how they'd just lost a family member to coronavirus. And they were upset, but they were also talking about recovery rates and how they were missing, or that there was a lot of negative press. And I replied, they had replied under someone's thread that had talked about fear of going out. And this person had got the fear of the propaganda and also of the overwhelming state of actual affairs, and had said to themselves, said on YouTube that they were really concerned about going out because they didn't want to get sick and da. How can I get stuff delivered at home? And then the person who replied talked about the death. So talking to someone who clearly had anxiety, and talking to someone who clearly suffered a personal loss recently, I replied, I sympathised with the person who had the loss, reasoned with the person of anxiety. And then sort of finished it off by saying that I was trying to point out the positives, because the discussion turned into not just the person's family passed away, but it turned into a discussion on negative media. And I was talking about how I was spreading the positives. And I was trying my best, and I said something sympathetic to the person, who then responded with their thanks. And then I said, no worries. And I said, I don't know if it's going to help or not, but if it does, here's my Twitter platform. Yeah, I've done some videos on YouTube on how to stay healthy, but here's my Twitter platform for a positive message, because that's all I've been doing. I've been tweeting positives. Now, no sooner, I think it took about 2 or 3 hours, that whole conversation was deleted. That whole conversation. I don't know why. At all. But the only reason I don't jump to the fact that it could have just been because I put a Twitter handle in there, which I doubt it would be, is because that same week was the same week that everybody started getting kicked off YouTube again. And what do I mean? Well, I have an independent media channel that I follow on YouTube. It's called We Are Change. You like it, you don't, doesn't matter. It's just who I follow. And they got demonetized and kicked off YouTube. Well, demonetized to the point where they think they're probably going to get kicked off YouTube soon. That week. And so did so many other independent media. Everybody who was reporting on coronavirus, and it wasn't scaremongering. And what I found funny was that We Are Change had gone as far as to actually promote the recommendations of adhering to government guidelines with regards to PPE, personal protective equipment, and staying at home and stocking up food. They were offering people to buy the links to buy food, big food parcels, right, in America. This is, and I found it interesting that this independent media organization was actually vouching on behalf of the government, but was still taken down by Twitter. Quite honestly, I believe because the word coronavirus was mentioned, and it wasn't completely adhering to the narrative of the government. And I'm sure you'll see it. If you're on YouTube now, you probably are watching this on YouTube. If not, go on YouTube and look at the amount of channels that got censored. But not just for this. They got censored during the Jeffrey Epstein scandal. They got censored during all types of Watergate. They got censored during 9/11. They got censored. I mean, like YouTube and so many other platforms. Facebook did it. Twitter did it. So many of them are censoring people now based on their content. If it's not following the complete narrative, or it's just something that is not popular. It doesn't have to be offensive, just unpopular, and it's very dangerous messing with free speech like that. But yeah, this one I can attest to censorship on YouTube. And what I have also saw as I've been going around on Twitter and doing my daily tweets is something that's obviously expected, but I'll highlight it: cyberbullying. Cyberbullying being specifically being focused on criticism and alternative perspectives. So people that have just simply shared their point of view. I've seen people get the rampage of horrible comments, nasty comments, just simply because they don't agree with what was on the news today, or because they wanted to criticize something. More on that later as well as we talk about the media. But yeah, and just to rally that off with censorship, there have been no independent narratives. Again, TBC, heavy TBC on this one. But there have been no independent narratives on positives. None that have managed to survive. And what I mean is you'll probably find these are comments, but they have not been pushed to the surface. They have not been pushed to the surface. They have not been highlighted. They have not been trending. They have not made it into the worldwide news. The very first thing you see is how many people have died today. The first thing you see is what's gone wrong today. The first thing you see is, just horrifying images. Coming up to the clapping for NHS. Oh man, I gotta keep. I'm weaving, I'm weaving through subjects, but we get there. So that's that question answered. Now